And like, does he want us to look at him while we're drinking?
You need a direct
camera shot.
Oh,
direct.
Heidi. Oh, Heidi.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is
Anyways,
so good.
And I love that he's gonna get with the other camera too.
Oh,
He's gonna get.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's not just like one still shot. I'll be able to pull other things into it.
It just gets better and better today.
I know. I'm like, happy summer. Like,
Yes.
what? Yes. I love it. All right. So are we clear to get started? Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
I guess we should.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Heidi. No, wait, I'm not.
Sarah.
No, so we will go ahead and get started then.
Let them take me as far as they want to go. And it's time for me to say, they won't break me, I'm braver than I know. I was made for this. Oh, such a time as this.
I would like to start with a cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy summer.
Woo.
And that's how we'll start the episode with our cheers to us and to you.
Yes.
We are so excited, you guys. We are switching gears today after
yes.
our amazing, amazing month of May and all of the really amazing guests that we had on. We had some incredible guests in May.
Great month. I
It
loved
was.
the topic. The discussions were amazing, and I came away having learned a lot more than I was even expecting to.
I did
it
as
was
well.
remarkable.
From each
Loved
one
it.
of our guests, I learned so much, and I felt like I was sitting at their feet rather than them
Yes.
coming and learning from us. You
Yes.
know, they had so much to offer.
It was
great.
amazing.
Yep.
The sand in the Frisbee,
Oh man,
there was something there was some profoundness
Right.
in that for me. It
Yeah.
was far more than just sand in a Frisbee. It was good, but
right. So now it's June, and so to celebrate that we are moving into our summer months, I have a gift for you, Heidi.
yes,
I have this beautiful lei that you might put on. So we're gonna just get ourselves
right.
nice and decorated for our summer activities
Love
here.
it.
We have our mimosas. We have our fruit salad. We have our summer something party
Summer party.
that says enjoy and then also relax. So we have all of that. And Heidi, in a little while, we're also going to do a very fun activity with what else is in my bag. So
Oh,
I
yes.
know.
This will be good.
So we're
I'm so
actually
excited.
recording today from the top of the McKay Towers. I just had to remember where we were for a hot second.
Look
Pretty
at
much,
this.
if you know the building that has the giant dome on the top of it, we can literally see the dome right above us right now,
Yes.
and it's absolutely incredible.
It's amazing.
So we were given this amazing opportunity, and we took it right away.
Who would say no to this?
Like,
I mean,
no.
look at this.
I know.
I'm a little awestruck. I feel like I'm living a life that,
Right.
how did I get here?
Like, I'm looking at you, and the Grand River is behind us, and the studio that we usually record at
It's
is
right-
literally right over your ear.
It's amazing. I know. I'm looking at my daughter's her place there along the river where she lives. Love
I
you.
love it.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's beautiful.
Well, we love Grand Rapids. I mean,
Yes.
so much of what we do, we want to be able to keep local, you
Yes.
know, and just be able to influence all of the women, all of the girls, and everybody in our area. So that's
yeah.
not just the city of Grand Rapids. I'm saying the West Michigan area.
Yes.
But I love keeping things local like that and
Yeah.
just loving on the people that are right next to us.
Yeah. Isn't that
So,
how it should be?
it is how it should be.
Your community.
Yes.
Start there.
Start there, and
don't
then you
have
can
to
branch out.
Go out and do big things someplace else. Bring that awesomeness to your community.
Well, and I love that you said that, because today what we were going to talk about is the little things that make a big difference. You know, so you were saying you don't have to do all these big things and go all these big places.
you don't even have to spend money. to
You
do.
don't have to spend money. And so, and one thing I absolutely love that you do is everywhere you go, you bring joy, you bring the sunshine, you
Thank you.
just make people feel so special and so alive. And just by
Oh.
complimenting them, but it's not, oh, Heidi, you're so pretty. You know?
You're so beautiful. Your hair and makeup are
Right.
just so perfect.
Yes, but it's
Right.
finding those ways to compliment
Yeah.
And talk further on that, because I love to see you do that. It's amazing.
Oh, man. So I made the deliberate decision to start doing that during COVID, actually. And it came out of I noticed I was just becoming more and more angry and irritable and snarky. But then I saw that everyone around me was feeling the same way.
Right.
And I'm seeing the same thing. And then it's over and it's replicating and it's getting bigger. And it felt so oppressive and dark and ugly. And darkness can build and feed and...
Oh, it's contagious too. Yeah.
And it didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said that, yes, you can choose joy. You can choose. You can. I didn't ever say it was easy, but I said
Right.
you can. So I made the deliberate decision. I'm going to start trying just one by one with people that cross my path. Maybe I can bring a smile. Maybe, because I know I need it.
Right.
And I know how it feels. So I'm going to try that. But I'm so opposed to making it about superficial things. And don't get me wrong. I mean, there are beautiful people. I actually think everybody's beautiful. But
I do
you
too.
know what I mean. The
Yes.
things, yes, you can have the perfect hair. Or you can have perfect makeup application.
That was good. I liked that.
I know. Think it's a big word.
It is.
But what really matters to me are the things that make a person, or just a unique things, not something that they were born with. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. You can't change certain things, but start complimenting people on things like, you have a smile that just like,
Hold
oh
on
my
just
God.
a second. Can you hear the helicopter and the... Okay, so usually we contend with trains.
Yeah.
But now we're up high. So we just... Yep. We get to contend
Thinking
with
of
the
whatever
helicopter.
family is affected
Yes.
right now,
Yes.
and sending out just some prayers and
Yep.
well wishes and everything else. But so I made the conscious decision that I want to bring smiles instead of more ugliness, because there's enough ugliness. So how do I do that?
Right.
And I wanted it to have depth, not superficial. So I made myself start looking for the little things that make somebody interesting or unique. And so for me, it became, what was it about them that caught my eye as I observed them? Not immediate,
Oh, I
because
love that.
that's appearance driven.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying I would sit and stare at them for minutes.
You were stalking
But
their behavior.
There was something about them that caught my eye, but I wanted to go beyond just the superficial exterior.
Right.
How are they interacting? How are they living their life? The smile, or, oh, those are amazing pair of bright hot pink glasses, or
Yep.
just those little things. And I found that initially, maybe it felt a little awkward for me because it's like random stranger and here I come. But my goodness, the way people responded, they would stop dead in their tracks and look like me. I'm like, yes.
That's the reaction.
you.
People turn around like they can't possibly be talking
Yes,
to me. Why
I
are they
know.
choosing me to talk to and give a compliment
Yes.
to? And I love to see the reaction when they realize
Yes.
that it's them that you're talking to.
Oh,
And
they
they're like,
smile
oh,
from head to toe.
Yes, they do. Their whole body posture
Yes.
changes and everything.
Yes.
Yep.
But what I found out is that in my desire to bring a smile or some joy to them, I got so filled with a sense of just happy and joy, and I felt so good.
It just
And-
brightens your whole day.
Yes, and now it's become just habit. I don't think anything about it. If I think it, I say it.
Yeah.
And I would love for that to be more of the norm. Make that contagious.
Yes.
I mean, you are vibrating and radiating joy. You make me excited just to be in your orbit right now. I love that. Now imagine a world full of people like
Oh.
that.
Right.
Imagine
and to
that.
me, I feel like it takes less energy. It takes less effort. We know scientifically smiles take less muscles on your face than a frown, and so what
Yes.
if people are being fueled by the compliments that we're giving them.
Yes.
But like you said, they're being fueled at the same time. And so to me, that ripple effect is so much stronger than the negativity. You know, it just, like I think of like the, you know, the cartoons that you watch and it's like the evil side versus the good side.
Oh, yeah.
And how it like kind of, they meet in the middle.
Yes.
But I feel like the good side would just be so much stronger and take
It will
that over
always win.
completely. It would.
Even if you think it doesn't, I promise you, it always does, because people will gravitate towards it because it feels better. It doesn't feel good to be unkind. It doesn't feel good to be mean.
No.
It doesn't feel good to ignore everybody.
Right.
It doesn't feel good to climb over people trying to make yourself look better.
Right,
It
and
just
even
doesn't.
if it feels good for just that hot second, you know, just in that one little moment where you're like,
Yeah,
I did
got
it.
'em.
It always catches up with you.
Yeah.
The negative always catches
It
up.
does.
Yeah.
And there you sit with that at the end of the day. And I made myself promise that every day when I laid my head down on my pillow, I wanted to feel good about how I interacted with the people in my life.
Right.
And it's been life-changing for me. I can only say that. I mean, it's the only way I can describe it. It's been absolutely life-changing, and it cost me literally nothing.
Well, it does sound like it would be really difficult, though. I mean, you
It's
have to.
not easy.
No,
It
you
isn't
know,
easy.
but here's the thing: you walk past somebody on the street, and you have three options.
Yes.
The way I see it, right? Number one, you can ignore them and be
Yes.
in your own little
And
world,
most
like
people
they
do.
don't exist, right? Number two, you can be mean to them by giving them a frown or a huff or something.
The wide berth around them
Right.
because of how they might look
Right.
or something.
Or you could smile at them
Yes.
and take it one step
Yes.
further and give them a compliment.
Yes.
You know, so those are your three options. And I feel like what COVID taught us was the first option.
For sure.
You know,
Nobody's
that we
there.
were to be isolated. Nobody's here. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. Don't anything. And so I think that we are still recovering as a society
for
from
sure.
that, you know, because it's like, oh, wait, this is okay again. This is okay again. But because we were wounded by all of that,
horrifically.
we're kind of like checking and like putting our toe in the water and things like
Checking,
that.
is this
and
really okay?
you know, I'm talking about doing a giant cannonball into the middle of the pool. And think about how many people you could splash.
Yes.
I mean, how many people? You stick your toe
Yes.
in, there's no splash.
No,
you don't
it's all
you don't
in.
affect
I'm in
anybody
all
else.
in. Jump in the deep end and,
Yes.
and do, I mean, what
Me
do you
too.
have to lose? You're still
just
going to
gonna be
walk down the
soaking wet,
sidewalk.
but that's all.
So
Yeah.
choose how you're going to walk down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
If it's hard for you to talk to people, because it was for me sometime, I forced myself to make eye contact and
Oh,
smile.
that's huge.
And that's it. I didn't even have to say a word, and they'd be like, they would always smile back.
Yep.
There's just something about it when it's genuine and you mean it. Just catch their eye and just smile.
It is almost impossible if somebody is smiling at you
I know.
to not smile back at
I
them.
know.
I mean, genuinely, even if you're
For
in a
sure.
bad mood and somebody has a genuine smile,
Yeah.
it like snaps you out of whatever you're in, even just for a second. Even if you go back down into whatever you were in,
Yeah.
it just snaps you out, you know? And I mean, you think about like little kids laughing and smiling
Oh, the
and giggling
belly laughs
and
are-
how you just can't
I
help
know.
it. You just can't help to
I
be
know.
so happy. And I mean, which is why if we see a video with something on, we run to show the other person or we send
for
it to
sure.
somebody else
Or
like,
you
right
play it
away.
over.
Yes,
You play it
exactly,
over.
exactly.
I'm thinking, man, little kids belly laughing. If you're
Oh.
having a bad day, play that.
It's medicine. I mean,
Play
it
that.
is.
How could you not? That full out. They're laughing so hard they can't catch their breath. And,
Right. And like,
Oh,
I don't
it's
even,
the
I
best.
can't mock it because it's only something
I
that little
know.
babies can do. And I'm like,
I
okay,
love
I
it.
can't do that anymore. But
So, but there is absolute power in a genuine smile and laughter, and it is soul healing. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that, and I say it from personal experience. I spent a lot of my life not smiling for real and not laughing for real.
right.
I don't do
I do
that
too.
anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
And it has profoundly changed my outlook on life. And when you start looking for those people, you start noticing other things. And then you start realizing this world that seems so horrible is filled with the most amazing, beautiful things.
Yes.
We've missed them because it sucks here. It's awful. you get so caught up in it, you don't see what's everywhere. I mean, right now I'm like trying not to like look at everything.
I know.
I'm just awed.
It's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
It is.
It's amazing.
So I'm going to take it one step further, right?
Oh, here we go.
You're in your car,
Yes.
right? And you can't communicate with other drivers, even though sometimes I really want to.
Oh.
Not in a good way, which is probably the reason that we can't communicate with other drivers, right?
Oh, you're taking this personal because I'm
I
horrible with this. Oh,
So I find that I can smile genuinely at other drivers. Just big, old, giant smile, grin.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh, and then they smile back. Or people on the side of the road, you're driving past. Again, you can't communicate with them necessarily, but you can smile at them and they can see you.
That's
I think
a
people
language.
forget that I think some people forget that we can see into their cars. Like, I genuinely think they get in their cars and we think that they are just invisible. We can't, nobody can see me. I'm in my car.
Pull out singing and,
Oh, yeah. And then you pull up next to somebody and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not invisible in my car. But the beauty of that is, again, you've got choices. Number one, you can look straight forward. Number two, you can give them a frown. Number three, you can give them a smile. So try it.
I've had just plain blank pieces of paper in my car before where I've written little messages and sitting at a stop sign and I'll hold one up to the window and then put it down and then drive away.
I love that.
Nobody can look at it without just smiling because they're
Right.
like,
Oh, yeah.
it's just literally, it doesn't take effort.
It doesn't.
And it takes zero money. And I have found for me, it's been more effective than any counseling or any medication I have ever taken. And it was a deliberate choice to change my mindset.
Right.
That was my responsibility. I could have continued to pay all the people in the world to fix me. Mm-hmm. But until I made the decision that I wanted to be different,
Right.
and I chose it, and I made that mandatory in my life, yeah, I wish I would have figured that out years ago. But I needed the journey up until then because now I just relish life most days.
Right.
Like genuinely, enthusiastically love it in the people that I cross paths with. It's been amazing since I started making the effort to reach out and make contact with strangers.
Yeah.
How
People have
beautiful it is.
amazing stories. To be able to sit and take the time and slow down your life long enough to involve other people in your life. But just to hear their stories is incredible.
Yeah, like
and
my
then you
riverbank.
think, wow, I would have, like your riverbank. But you would have never known that person or their story or anything else about it had you not noticed.
For sure.
Because again, this is the thing. You weren't looking down at yourself.
Right.
You were looking up.
Yes.
And I've talked about this before in other podcasts, but I can always tell when my focus has shifted back down to myself. And I'm like walking around with a giant mirror like this because I can
That's all
only
you
see. Exactly. But when we have our heads lifted up and we're watching for the other people, and then that's when we spot it. Because you can't see it. If you're not looking out or around, or I'm just like, oh,
I know. I'm like, feel like my smilers are going to be exhausted. So,
right. But again, we got here by being open to the possibility of coming to a random meeting. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like to better other things.
Right.
And then it was like floodgates.
Who knew?
You know? So other things that I wanted to talk about today as we kick off our summer is Heidi, what is your favorite thing, or there's probably more than one, right? But tell me some of your favorite things to do or favorite attributes about summer or things that can only happen in summer that you love.
Oh, I have to say being by the water.
Oh, yes.
Being by the water. There's always been something about that anyway that's healing for me. But what I find is that when people are by the water going to the beach, the whole attitude and tone changes. It forces people to just stop and be present.
Right.
And our life lacks that.
Yeah.
How often do we stop? And how often are we actually fully present and engaged? And you go to the beach and it's like, you feel the sand and the water and the sounds and the kids laughing, seagulls pooping on you and stealing your food. But I love all of it, because there's just joy.
There is.
Because people are unplugged. For the most part, you still have the getting the perfect shots up there. But
Okay,
for
but
the
do you
most
find
part,
it funny that you lose signal by Lake Michigan?
So
I find that
love
funny.
that
Like, you know what I
it's-
mean? Like, you
yeah.
try, and then you're like, oh, I am forced to be unplugged
Yes.
because there's no signal out by Lake
Yes.
Michigan.
And all of a sudden, people are having face-to-face conversations.
Right.
Literally.
Or they're sitting there watching the sunset.
Yes.
You know, and it's really, I love sunsets. Do you love sunsets?
Oh,
I could watch
you need to
a
come out to
sunset
the lake and
every
sit
night.
by the dock and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
With one of these, that'd be great.
Oh my
So-
gosh, yes. Deal.
Yes,
Deal.
it'll
Yep.
happen.
Yeah.
So summer, I think, it pairs layers off from people. And I'm not just like closed down to your fun, cute summer stuff, but you're not all hidden. You're not inside. People are outside. They want to walk. And that puts you in contact with more people.
Yeah, suddenly everybody comes out of their houses and you're like,
Yes.
oh, I have people that live on my street. I didn't even realize.
I know.
And yeah.
And I think that's why summer to me is my most favorite. It seems to be when people find that time to unwind, to
Yes.
unplug, to just be,
Renew.
to enjoy the weather, to
Yep.
you know the backyard barbecues, to sit around the bonfire. I miss all of that.
And it stays light a lot later, so you get a lot more of the day
Yes,
in as
yeah.
well. Mm-hmm.
I like that summer brings the unplugged activities.
Yes.
You know, nobody,
Camping
you don't
and
sit around the
hiking and-
bonfire with your friends and everybody is just on their phone the whole time. It doesn't
Right.
happen.
And then the one person that is, you're like, dude, why are you even
you're
here? Like,
missing
what are you
out.
doing?
Make a s'more
Yes,
and join
exactly.
the conversation. And
Exactly.
you're just laughing and sharing. And my heart craves that. It just craves it because
Yeah.
we've become so technology driven and
Right.
phones. And I do myself. I
Yep.
use my phone all the time, but man, just unplugging and being present and engaged with people. I love it.
But there's something
Love
about
it.
summer that literally you can go like 4 or 5 hours and you're like, where is my phone? I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even know.
Yeah.
And the other seasons I do feel like we're closed indoors. We've, like you said, the layers. We've got all the heavy
Yes.
things that we have to wear physically, like
Oh, for sure.
outwardly,
Yes.
you know?
Just getting ready to go outside takes longer.
Yes. Okay. For real. So like taking the trash out in the wintertime, you're like, oh my gosh,
I
like
can
this
shove
is
more in this bag. I know it can
Yes,
hold more.
exactly. And the summertime, you're like, oh, okay, I'll just pop right out.
I'm
Like,
just
that's no
gonna
big
go
deal. The
trot
door's
on out
open
there.
anyways. I might
I
as well
know.
go through it. And yeah, there is such beauty in summer. And I do feel like it's just that cycle of renewal. It's that
It
cycle
is.
of, not all, most of the craziest stories come out of summertime. And,
Oh, for
this
sure.
summer I did that. I mean, they write songs
I
about
know.
it, you know, but it's and
Yes.
specifically in Michigan, though, right? Because
It's
not
necessary.
every state has the giant transitions of
Winters are tough here.
right. I mean, but even think about like this morning, right? My office windows were open before I came here, and my toes were so cold, and all of a sudden my heat kicked on, and I'm like, what is even happening right now? I've got my
now?
windows open, and I had
I
flip flops on because I was planning on coming here, and now
Yep.
it's like 70 degrees and sunny and
It's
gorgeous.
glorious.
And
It's
so we
glorious.
experience all of that sometimes in a day in Michigan. But I'm thinking of places like, Florida or something where
Right.
it's always warm and they get to do this all year long. I don't feel like they have that same exact cycle of like, oh, we've got to enjoy every second of this because we
Right.
all know that we have 12 weekends in summer in
Well,
Michigan.
I think we treasure
Hi.
more.
Can I help you with my chair?
You're so pretty.
There's more inside if you need it. They are good. They're good mimosas.
They're delicious. Well
Mm-hmm.
done. No, I think the fact that truly our true summer season is very short. When
It
you
is.
look at the calendar year,
12 weeks.
winter is tough. The sun is healing. Vitamin D is necessary.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we get profoundly lacking in that in this state.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. So I think we have a different kind of joy and appreciation as soon as it gets warm and the leaves start coming back out. Everything feels like, oh, we can start living
Yes.
again.
Yes.
now I'm on a mission. How can we live all year round? But right now,
I haven't quite figued that one out yet.
I know.
Because we're so seasonally challenged. We're going to call it that. We are seasonally challenged.
Yes. The thing
in
a lot
Michigan.
of people love about Michigan is also the thing that can cause some difficulties that aren't always talked about.
All right. So speaking of summer fun, I brought us something.
Yes, the happiest things on earth.
Okay, so Jacqueline, you're amazing. Thank you for explaining to us why we love bubbles as much as we do.
It feels like it's a
we already
gender
knew.
reveal party. Is it
Oh
a
my
boy
gosh.
or a girl?
I just grabbed these. I didn't even think
Sarah
about.
and Aaron, you're
We're
expecting.
having
What
a
is it
boy
gonna
or a
be?
girl, you know. All right, so these are giant bubble. I don't even know which way to blow this.
Oh, how fun would that be?
Well, that's all that she had. So people,
Bubbles.
I blow bubbles.
How do you not smile when you see bubbles? It's my stage name. Happiest thing on earth.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody loves bubbles.
I hope that people see bubbles coming up the top of the building
Oh,
going, why are there bubbles?
I'm doing this. Grand Rapids, bubbles are coming.
Oh my gosh. All right, that was our bubble break brought to us by the
I'm
dollar
sorry.
store. I'm never upset if I get hit by bubbles. I could blow bubbles all day. It's so much fun. I
Window
love that.
cleaners everywhere are hating us. So.
Yes, they are. I don't feel bad at all.
Oh,
Yes, I don't feel bad at all.
it's good, clean fun.
It is good, clean fun. We are.
Yes,
we're
employing
providing for the
America.
economy. This is how the highfalutin people do life.
Man,
Yep.
I just want to tell everybody, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you are facing, give yourself permission to step outside of it
Yes.
and to feel, even if it's 15 minutes of just fun and joy.
yes.
Blow
Go
bubbles,
out and laugh.
sit
Go
in
out
the
and
sun,
run. Sit on a swing.
laugh, find something beautiful. I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I watched my grandson just blowing the dandelion heads.
Yes.
And I sat in the grass and just snapped photos of him because it was just pure joy
It's
to
amazing.
watch. And all he kept talking about is, there's wishes flying everywhere, Grandma.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And it's like, I said, well, what are you wishing for? He goes, I can't tell you that. And find those moments. It's okay.
Try-
It is okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission.
But I love that. So try to look at life like a
Yes.
child does.
Please.
Just
Yes.
watch them for a minute and see what brings them joy. And I guarantee it would bring you joy too as an adult. We're just tall
without a
children.
doubt.
Like all of us are just tall children.
Yes.
That inner child is still
Yeah.
in there. That inner child that has fun. And if you can set aside, the pride, the
Yes.
jealousy, the anger,
All
all
of
of the
it.
darkness, if you can set it aside and just, like you said, give yourself permission
Yes.
to have fun.
Yes.
And to just go, so I feel a lot of times it's like our hands are clenched like this, right?
Yes.
All the time.
There's-
Our shoulders are up in our ears and
Tension.
we're clenched, you know?
Chiropractors are busy for a reason.
Oh,
Doctors
completely.
are busy
Yeah.
for a reason. It's
So if we can learn to literally, even just for a couple minutes, to let go and to breathe deep.
yes.
And so one of the things that I learned from my sister-in-law is the concept of grounding, right? So you take your shoes off, you put your toes
Feel
in the earth, and
the
you
ground.
just become grounded.
Feel
and
it.
I understood it because I was like, from like an electrical point of view, you have to
Yes.
have something grounded or it
Yes,
won't work. You
for
know,
sure.
we need to be grounded
Yes.
or we won't work.
Be
You know,
connected and feel it under your
so
feet.
it's gorgeous out.
Oh my goodness.
Take your shoes off.
I know.
Take your
senses-
shoes off.
Yes.
Go outside.
I know. I'm gonna
Put your
take-
feet. I'm taking my shoes off too. I'm on a roof. I have no shoes on. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. I'm really glad you didn't throw that off the building because that would have been awkward.
Well, I did walk around with my broken shoe.
And now they're going to be like, bubbles are coming down from up there, and now
And
there's shoes
shoes.
flying. Our bras next. Like, what is even happening right now? Oh, yes. It's so good. It's so good. But that's the other thing about summer. People
Yes.
can just be free. You know, sometimes they're
yes.
very free and they just bear it all. You know,
Where's-
if you go tubing down the river, you see a whole lot of that.
Oh, we need to do that.
Let's go tubing. Can we record going tubing down the river? I don't think we could. I don't think I would risk it.
Can you just like run along the shore and film us?
We're going to start putting our brains together and figure out how we can do a podcast going down the river drinking.
We're going to
This
do
might
it.
get really interesting. We'll have to think of a
I
really
just
fascinating
had-
subject for that.
I had an idea.
You do. You look good over there, by the way.
You do.
Like, you look really professional.
Yeah, I'm approving of the shirt. One of my favorite shows ever.
Hold on.
So good.
I'm gonna video from here for a minute
Yes.
so I can.
Sorry, buddy, taking a.
We're
Taking
just
a break.
taking a little break, shooting the other direction for a hot second. There's our producers over there. And
Yes.
what I was talking about is there's the dome. See the dome? There's our producers. Aren't they amazing? Thank you very much, producers, Aaron and Logan. You guys are incredible. We love you.
We do. We do.
That's so fun.
I have
We're
an
like
idea.
filming each other.
You might be on board with this one. I'm just going to throw
Heidi,
this out.
I am on board with every idea you have, so
I'm
just
a
shoot
crazy little nut, and I've
it.
embraced
I follow
it.
you
So
to the end of the earth.
I think that we should do a monthly women's play date. We're going to find a place to go, have fun, open invitation,
yes.
whoever shows up. We're going to teach women how to play and have fun again.
I am going to bring sidewalk chalk, and I'm going to bring
Yes.
bubbles, and I'm
Yes.
going to require no shoes.
I love
And
it.
I am going to, well, I'm not going to require. That sounds more like work. So I'm going to suggest no shoes.
Yes.
And we can just play games. You know how many games
Yes.
that I have from my years of teaching? Like
know.
group games that are super
Yeah,
fun.
we're going to play.
When was the last time you played like red light, green light?
It's so fun.
1, 2, 3.
It's so fun. With mimosas makes it better.
Yep.
But like the
I
sidewalk
feel like I need
chalk,
a refill on my mimosa soon.
That reminded me. So, and I'm soon to start again, but I have a group that we get together and we work towards a goal of like a 5K or just kind of like a training thing, or we
love it.
walk. I always bring sidewalk chalk. And when we're
Yes.
at the halfway point where we turn to go back, I ask everybody to write an affirmation.
Oh,
It
I love
cannot
that.
be negative. It has to be a positive affirmation about themselves. Some people, it was easy. And I wanted to cry, though, because for so many people, it took them so long
Right.
to come up with something positive. I had a million of them that I could have said about them.
Yeah.
Like
Here,
so
put your bubbles
many.
back in here so it doesn't blow away.
All right.
Good job. My phone.
And
in
I'm
there,
like,
too.
I'm looking at you and I can rattle off so many of them. How do you not see what I see? And then I'm like, oh, pot, meat, kettle, because
right?
that's me.
Yes.
That's me.
I find that like teenagers and tweens have the hardest time with that.
Yes.
They really do. You know, I mean, I just said that the other day to one of my daughter's friends and it took her
Yep.
forever and and I was like, you have to come up with 2. Because she had just put herself down and I was like, absolutely not.
Nope.
I'm like, you don't talk about yourself that way, you know? And we actually, like Aaron and I had a really funny conversation about that. I think it was yesterday or maybe today. I don't remember. No, it was yesterday. And he was like, so I always say, you know, like I'm going to beat the shit out of anybody that talks bad about my wife. And he's like, but how do I handle that when it's you that's talking bad about yourself? And he's like, so do I explain to the officers what happened, you know? And then like,
she
it's
had
just
it coming. I told her.
it's just this cycle, you know? And I was like, oh, that's a valid point. I better watch how I'm talking about myself, you know? Because he's right. I mean,
is.
he defends me.
Do you know what I love about that? I was waiting for you to finish with what you had to say to tell you I have a rule in my house. You can't talk negatively about people I love.
I love that. I love that.
So that
Yep.
means my husband can't say negative things about himself. But that means I have to hold myself to that same thing because
You're like,
I'm
oh, wait,
working
I live
hard.
under that roof too.
I'm trying to practice healthy self-love. And
It's hard.
beating myself down doesn't feed that. I'm not looking to have an ego. I'm not looking to be arrogant. I'm not more than anybody else. But I am worth the space that I take up. I am worth the air that I breathe. And I am worth what I bring to this universe. And I need to accept and embrace that.
Right.
And that's when beautiful things happen. I'm sitting here with you outside
gosh,
on a
right?
rooftop. And if I had stayed closed and shut down and kept telling myself, oh, you're not worth that. You can't do that. Nobody wants to hear what you say. The opportunities and adventures that I would miss out on that I'm finding make life the most beautiful, precious thing ever would have been missed.
Yep.
I'm so
totally
grateful
agree.
to be here today.
You have to keep your head up and out and looking forward, just like we talked about earlier, to see the opportunities.
Yes.
You
It's a
can't
choice.
see those when you're
It's
looking
hard.
at yourself because you've come as far as you can by yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's like when you're
Yeah.
looking down, you're like, that's it. I've
That's
gotten as
it.
far as I
And
can.
nobody else can do that for you. And I think our society has forgotten that.
Right.
They think we can pay somebody to fix it.
Well, and I think too,
And it helps, but you have to make the decision that I want to be different than this.
yeah.
Because I am different than this. This isn't me. This is not me. This is just where I am right
Yes.
now.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like anybody dealing with an addiction or anything. They have to be the ones
yes.
that say, I have a problem and I want to
Yes.
and I want to get better.
Yes.
You can try to fix them until you are blue in the face, but until they say those words,
It's not
I
gonna
want to
happen.
be better. I admit I have a problem. It's
Right.
not it's not, you know? And it's the same way with like with me. If my clothes start fitting tight or whatever and I'm like I want to lose some weight, I have to say those words.
I'll take it.
Like I will. I'll give
take
you.
it.
I'll give it all to you.
Don't
you can
lose
have
it.
my
You're-
boobs. You can
you're
have my belly. You just.
I wouldn't know what to do with them.
I can't stand that. I have a very funny story that I'm going to tell you about what happened yesterday. I was bathing suit shopping yesterday, which when I was explaining to my husband, I have to be in the right mood to go and get naked like in a place and put bathing suits on,
are
right?
hard.
Bathing suits suck. I don't know
It's
who
the
they make them for,
worst.
but not for me, right?
Oh.
So I love my current bathing suit. The only reason I wanted to get a different one is because I've had it for so long that the elastic is starting to come off and it's a two-piece and it gets a little awkward when I jump in the pool.
Elastic gives up after a while,
Right.
not to anybody's detriment. It just does. It's got a shelf life.
So I pick a couple off the shelf and I was like, okay, these aren't awful, right? So
Yeah.
I try one on and it's one of those that has like the boob holder up top and then it had like a triangle cut out or like a diamond shape cut out in the middle
sure.
and it was so
Yes.
cute, right? Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
little thing
I
in
love
the
how
right.
you called it a boob holder.
It was they're boob holders, right? And then the little like a little diamond and then the bottom half of it and it was a
Very
one piece.
cute.
Okay, so I was like, this looks amazing. This is so cute, right?
Yes.
I put it on, and I kid you not, my boob fell out the diamond.
The diamond?
It was it goes bloop and right out, and I'm like, oh, that's not a thing. Like that's not. I'm not going to be getting this particular. It had no support, none. Like there was no support up top.
Where
and it
was
just-
this? Because somebody built like
Oh,
me.
I was in Target, and then I tried
Oh
on
my
another
goodness.
one, and it felt like I was wearing a banana peel. Like it was just like it was tight around my waist, and then it just had this like diaper type thing underneath, and I'm like, what is even happening? And then the guy that was in the checkout or the whatever
Oh my
the
goodness.
try on place, he just starts laughing because my commentary was quite amusing because I'm like. Bathing suit shopping sucks. It just does. There's no, you leave there going, well, I felt pretty good going in, and then all of a sudden
things
you're
hit-
like,
and it-
nope.
But here's the
It's
thing.
not a thing.
It's not a flaw with you.
No, it's the
simply
bathing
the
suit.
bathing suit
I
design
said
wasn't
that to Aaron.
right
I said,
for your
I
body.
just haven't found the right bathing suit for me. I'm
That's
like,
right.
none of these are custom made for me.
That's right.
You know, like they, anyways.
You'll find it.
Whatever.
That reminds me of something hilarious, though, that I did here. I was listening to a podcast. It wasn't ours, go figure, but it's another
mean you
one
listen
that
to
I
other
love.
podcasts,
I
Heidi? Are
know,
you
I-
cheating
I
on us?
cheated
Oh
on
my
myself,
gosh.
but so kind of what you were saying about your diamond in your
Yeah.
bathing suit. That reminded me of what this story was. So. This particular woman played volleyball in college. She got her scholarship for, and like she said, her gazelles are quite voluptuous. She's there's a lot there. So she goes, I'm playing
Which sucks
volleyball.
playing volleyball,
and,
by the way.
And
Go ahead.
so she goes, and then some designer of bras decided that a middle clasp was the right thing to do. So she goes, I'm in there in position, and I go like this, and all of a sudden it's like,
Yep.
she goes, everything just is shooting out all over the place, and it's like you're playing college level, and there's nothing contained anywhere.
She only had one sports bra on?
anywhere.
How'd she get away with that?
It was so I don't know. I
have to wear
ask.
two, or like a regular bra with a sports bra over top of it.
But I was just dying. But her whole thing was she was talking about her team, who immediately recognized this distressing situation because she said to make matters worse, our shirts were form-fitting and white. So she goes, there's nothing good. That's
Nope.
And
Nope.
she goes, all of a sudden, my entire team came around me.
Yes.
And
oh,
they were
women,
just
yes.
a protective wall. And we walked as a group.
I love that.
Off to the side. She goes, I don't think the other team literally even knew. Because the captain of my team called a timeout. I went and took care of it, but I'm like, oh my God.
And those are hard to get back done, like under a shirt.
I know.
It's so hard to get. I'm talking from experience.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Anyways.
But anyways, that was just.
If you guys have any really funny bra stories or mishaps, just feel free to let us know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Logan struggles with that a lot.
I know.
I know.
But my hair grows in all kinds of
directions. It grows really fast too.
So.
Like it's coming back in a lot.
It's like a
awesome.
chia pet. Just
it's
add
like
water
a chia pet.
yeah. Like spread the seeds, put the water on. It grows like
mine
crazy.
grows like a sloth.
No,
it doesn't grow.
No, the girl that does my hair when I go and get it professionally done.
Right.
It's like I've never seen anything like your hair. You've got tons of it and it grows like crazy. Remember the dolls? Like you could push the belly and
it
pull
would
the
just.
hair up?
I was always jealous
Yeah,
of
that's
that because
me.
I'm
Just
like,
push my stomach and yank it out, and there it goes.
push your stomach and yank it out. That's amazing. Oh, Heidi, I just adore you so much. And we're back.
Too.
And we're back. And we're back after our break to go get more mimosas. Cheers, Heidi. This is actually happening.
Cheers.
This is real life.
This is
not, we're not living somebody else's life. This is our life.
I know. I used to watch people that did things like this. It's like, how did you get there?
Well,
how does it happen?
Right.
I think I woke up and all of a sudden here I am sitting
That's
with you.
how I feel. That's how I felt about the past week and a half. I'm like, what has even just happened to my life? But this is...
I know.
But at the same time, it feels like this is how it's supposed to be. Like it doesn't feel surreal. It feels like I had been being held back for a long, long time.
Yes.
But then I realized that I wasn't being held back. I was being prepared.
Yes.
And I wasn't ready.
The time was never
I
right
wasn't
before
It
now.
was never right.
There were things you had to go through and experience first.
And that sucks. That sucks.
Does.
Being in that spot doesn't feel good.
Just gonna keep eating
But when
fruit.
you get past it, because of course you get past it, it's kind of like the winter in Michigan. It sucks. You sit in it, you know that there's an end to it eventually. Like it has to end, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I wondered this year if
this year we had 7 months of winter, and any of you that don't live in Michigan, it was 7 consistent
Hello,
months.
fellow porch people.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I feel like we're in like a society of people that hang out on
I
roofs
know.
of buildings.
I feel like we're in a different tax bracket right now.
Oh my gosh, right?
So,
This is
that's how it feels. So.
this is how the other half live.
But
yes.
my thoughts on what you were just saying, I've come to realize that in life, like you were saying, yes, there is a preparation for, but you have to also be open and ready to receive what is coming into your life.
Yeah.
And if you're not, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
If you approach it with fear, if you approach it with doubts, if you approach it with it's not going to work, it probably won't.
Well, I think about that
But-
analogy with the closed hands again. You can't
Yes.
catch anything that's being thrown to you with closed hands. I mean, it looks awful. Like if you've ever tried it, it just looks dumb. It's kind of like you throw the treats at a dog and it just hits them in the nose. You have to have your mouth open to catch the treat.
Yes.
It's the same
Yes.
concept. You have to have your
Yes.
hands open.
Be willing to
because
receive
people
what's
want
coming.
to give. People want to give, and God wants to give, and life wants to give, and Michigan apparently wants to give. And you just have
Yes.
to be open.
You do.
And ready to receive.
You
And I do
do.
feel like, just on that same theme of summer, people love to give and to receive and
They
to
do.
do and to
Yes.
become fully alive. I think about who I am in the summertime and then who I am in the wintertime. And it is a direct analogy to who I am when I'm in a state of depression or anxiety or when
for
I'm
sure.
living fully. It couldn't be any more of a perfect picture. I mean,
Yes.
I love summer so much that when I've been upset in the past, my amazing husband has literally brought summer inside for me. Like in February, has made me a sand, like a pool full of sand, and like gave me the lays and all of that, because summer does that for me, you know. And I'm a redhead. I didn't used to tan. Okay, let me tell you a funny story about that. I grew up on Long Island, right? Most people had dark hair and could tan, or they were blonde and they could tan like nobody's business, right? And then there's me. I have this giant mane of bright curly red hair, and I am whiter than a ghost. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the beach with my friends.
Did you say it in that tone of voice?
I did too. I probably sounded just like, I'm going to go to the beach.
Do you
and my
have
mom
a New
would
York
be like,
accent? Can you talk New York?
Only when I get really pissed off.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
So if you ever hear me speaking New York, just run, because that's...
I'll be like, I've been waiting for this. So.
Now, I've been gone from New York since 96, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't happen quite as often anymore, but I was raised in New York by two parents that lived in Michigan, so I didn't ever get like the full New York accent.
You didn't get full immersion.
I didn't, right? So here I am on the beach in New York. My mom was like, Sarah, you can't tan. Please bring SPF 50. And I'm like, no, I have SPF 4. It's fine.
4?
This is my teenage voice. It's fine. And I got so burnt one time that my dad, like my punishment for it, which really wasn't a punishment because I was already punished, he set up the photo booth and he took pictures of me standing like this, right, with a different bathing suit on, so you could see the red and I looked like a candy cane, really. I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad, right?
The pain of it.
Because that day I had chosen that I was going to put tanning oil on. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what degree burns I had, but I couldn't sleep for days. I had no comfortable position because my front, my back, everything.
Like
it was awful.
Sandpaper.
It was awful. So I didn't learn my lesson that time. I wish I could have said that I did. I literally didn't learn my lesson until I went to college. I just kept going to the beach with my friends all the time.
What you do.
And they would get tan by looking at the sun, and I would never
that,
tan.
Of course, is going to happen for you too then.
Right. And then I will thank my children, because as soon as I got pregnant with my oldest, all of a sudden, and I just said this earlier, I looked down at my arm and I was like, what is that color?
Yes, because
what is happening right now?
You have color
and
on you.
And I'm like, I can tan decent. I used to say that I only look tan when my freckles all like came out and they would join, and then I would be tan from that. But I actually can tan pretty okay, not great.
Yeah.
It takes me a lot longer.
I'm a super tanner. I rarely burn, and if I do, by the next day, it's just tan.
I'm not going to hide my jealousy on that.
To the point where I have been out and about in public in the past and turned around and people are like, oh. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm Caucasian. I know. So,
yes, I'm Caucasian. Do you check a different box during the summer?
I could. You pick one. I get that.
I am seasonally
dark.
Caucasian.
I know. I'm a winter Caucasian. Then take your pick the rest of the year. I can play all the roles.
You can, Heidi. You're like a chameleon. It's amazing.
That dark. But apparently the blue eyes give it away. And I've come to realize, I used to think, oh, it was amazing. I look so good when I'm super dark. Until I look at pictures and I'm like, I look ridiculous. I look so ridiculous. Because all of a sudden, here's this super dark. And these oddly, weirdly, very blue eyes are staring
beautiful,
out of
icy cold blue, like the waters of Lake Michigan with the tan.
Yes, in the middle of very deep, nearly chocolate brown. Yes, it's
that's
that
amazing.
Dark, but...
See, my husband can tan like that, but he doesn't. He doesn't like the sun. Like him and I couldn't be any.
He doesn't
like the sand, and he also doesn't like the sun. And so we'll go to the beach, and he's like
sand or
he's like under the umbrella.
What
with
is
like
wrong with you?
I'm not kidding, and I'll put a picture on this one. We have gone to the beach before, and he's in full biker garb, right? Like biker boots, leather jacket, all of this, and I'm in like my bikini with my shorts kind of like folded down. Oh, sorry, he had his vest on. Anyways, I know which picture I'm going to put up, but that's us at the beach. Like as covered as he can get and as uncovered as legally I can get is kind of how we go about life. Our kids are a good mixture of both. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It is. Well, Heidi, I have some sad news for you.
Oh, is it time already?
I feel like we could just talk for hours up here.
I could go for days. I don't want to leave. This has
Heidi,
been
would you
so
like to do
good.
this again sometime?
As soon as possible.
Okay, so we're gonna shoot another episode up here as
Yes.
well. So be looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yep.
And watch for those play dates. I think we need
Yes.
to make it happen. I'm thinking
We're-
a slip and slide, like
I
with
think by the
bubbles
time this
and-
airs in June, because this will air on the first
Yes.
week of June, right? And I think that we will have something that we can post by then
Yes.
to invite you to it.
We're going to have play dates. Women
I love
need to
play
get
dates.
out and play.
Adult sandbox dates with adult
Here's to
juice
that.
boxes.
Yes.
Cheers. We love
Cheers.
you guys.
Mwah.
Bye.
This was great. Did you like it? Tell all your friends.
Like